season off well for the Hawks. Well, still alive, possibly a finals appearance.
And that was Jolly going forward for Melbourne. He's in attack, and so is young Ferguson as the game underway from the MCG. And there's Reese giving away the free kick. He's come into the team as a very late change for the Hawks.
And already Melbourne are trying to stretch the Hawthorn defence with the taller players in Ferguson, Neitz, and also Jolly.
Well, Neitz working back, but hey, you can see strength there.
He's hurt too, Neitz.
He is too.
He's in trouble.
And the big giant slowly getting to his feet.
I'm not too sure.
He's not getting up at all.
He doesn't know where he's at the moment.
It's his leg.
Oh, it's the knee, Russell Robertson's head. Straight into Dale. I think you're right, it might be the head.
No idea where he is at the moment.
It's a sight that's been all too familiar on the footy field this year.
Yep.
Last week we saw Clint Bezel clash heads with Glenn Archer in a sickening clash, and of course Archer managed to return to the field, but David Neitz very disorientated.
That happens just so often in the game where a player falls to the ground and a player runs across and just accidentally hits a player in the head with their knee, and on that occasion David Neitz copped the brunt of it.
So play restarting. What a blow to the Demons in the opening minute of this game from the MCG. Just never know what drama you're going to get. Oh, gee, Neitz is almost in the play here. That's terrible. Crawford over the top gets his first touch. Vandenberg. Now Crawford's decked advantage. Should be paid here to the Hawks.
Coming back.
Lekas was away and escaping, but it's going to come back to the captain.
Just in that lead-up play, Adrian Cox has been so important in recent weeks with his running. The other one is Johnny Hay. He's come back into some better form because of his running, and the other one naturally is Joel Smith for the Hawks.
So Travis Johnston on the ground to replace Neitz. Shane Crawford, oh, dodgy centering kick, really gave Jolly a chance who probably should have done better, as it turns out. Joel Smith to ground. This is Graham as the Hawks build in promising fashion. Rawlings, rangy across half forward. Jonathan Hay without a real opponent at the moment, making the most of it with an intrusion onto the forward line. Too far. Wasn't a great kick.
Well, if there's a question mark about Jonathan Hay, sometimes it may be his decision-making, and on that occasion just couldn't make the right decision.
Great kick from Uze. Miller on, gone. Brown dropped it in the end. Back in there is Miller. Cox. Adrian Hawks into attack. Looking for Thompson over the head. McDonald did well. It was Williams. Bizzle and the Demons. That's a better kick. They're normally too short with their kicking. Straight through the hands of Miller. And Johnny Hay will sit back and take it. Hands off to Cox. Advantage. In the middle of the ground. Dixon will mark. Chance to go to Barlow. That's where he heads. Out in front of Barlow. That's a good kick. Pachoni it was. Back onto it is Ward. Hands off in the end. Over the top Jolly. Williams off half back to Uze. Better to see him in the midfield. That's a good kick. And Robertson, well done, Joel Smith. Did enough, and Vandenberg just making sure. And we'll get a free. Didn't have it at the end.
Sorry, Dave, the question is now going to be how Melbourne restructure without Neitz, Steve.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look who's actually taken his position at full forward.
So
I'll let you know that matchup.
Yeah, Jeff White was forward a moment ago, but meantime, back at the action, the Hawks through Rawlings all the way to full forward. There's Jolly, who started up forward, but now seems to be in the ruck. He's been picked! Oh. Well, he took it to ground. You can see the aggression and the disappointment on Jolly's face as he argues his case. You can see what the umpire was thinking there.
Well, I'm just not too sure he had any chance to get rid of the ball.
But did he actually try, Steve?
Well, there was a knee in the back of his back, and pretty difficult when someone's actually, I guess, pushing you towards the ground, the ball's underneath you.
Riding your bareback.
I know you've got a lot of recent playing experience, Steve, as of, was it Wednesday night? It was great to see you running around too.
Yeah,
still paying for it too.
Haven't lost it either.
Certainly take your word for it. Pachoni from the free kick. Can't capitalise, and through for behind. Well, the big news, if you've just joined us, is the loss of David Neitz. Let's get the latest from Christy Malthouse.
Well, David, sitting back on the bench now, still looking a bit dazed. They've done sort of like a concussion test on him. When he came off the ground, well, you probably saw it, they were almost carrying him off. The ball came past him and he actually tried to pull away and actually join in the play, and they just said, you're coming off. So he's looking okay at the moment, which is good.
And Miller has actually gone to full forward, replacing Neitz. So Hay picking up Miller, and Aussie Jones picking up Russell Robertson.
So Uze off wing, smothered in the end, actually kicked it into Campbell, and the ball over the line. So young Robert Campbell does his little bit, and I don't think it'll hurt him that much. I mean, he is a good player, Neitz, but playing out of the goal square, to be interesting to see how they readjust the Demons. And through the season, I suppose it can become a little bit unhealthy, that reliance wheeling. And it's coming back, Uze to take it again. So been pretty busy early in this game. Good to see him in the midfield as well. Godfrey, job on Crawford. Interesting cross half forward off screen. Johnson for the Demons being picked up by Mark Graham. So Godfrey taking too long as players get back for the Hawks. That's a shocking kick. Loose ball, Mitchell. Hawks with a chance to go. Into the middle, Campbell. Good positioning on the Leckers. Out wide, good kick. Rawlings. Boys, this been good. Guy been good. Soft been excellent playing as a forward. A little bit a la Chris Tarrant in his ability to come up. That's a good kick into the pocket. Hawks have it. And Simon Cox this time will go back from about 20 metres.
And, Dakes, I may have mentioned that Aussie Jones is playing out there.
A late trade, Steve.
Did you suffer a knock on
I meant
Wednesday
Joel
night?
Smith, both former teammates.
They used to live together, Steve. Just trying to make excuses for you, mate.
So we have a chance for the first goal of the game. Cross goal. Does it scrape in? It does. So 2 points to the Hawks. Yet to have our first major in the game. Demons yet to score.
They've been inside 50 4 times already, Hawthorn. Melbourne just the once. And already without their captain. Interesting to see how they go without him. I guess they've been accused of being one-dimensional this year. Godfrey. Penetrating kick to centre half forward. Armstrong, the small target. Cox, good spoil. Miller, Stone, Cox. Hawks work it out across half back. Loney, and they break. Simon Cox has got away. He can link up with Mark Williams, who's loose at half forward. Another good build-up from Hawthorn. Very short, but Vandenberg, again, he's got a man over the top that he wants him. Loney's covered now. Got Campbell at centre half forward. Goes longer than that. Hoping for Thompson. Nicholson judged it well. And he wanted to move straight away, Alistair Nicholson. That's how Cox saw it. And the umpire decided to let both of them get away with it. And now Nicholson brings Ward into the game. The Demons again going short off half-back, and Uze, as Nate's mentioned, is finding the footy early. He's kicked to a contest. Crawford pushing back. And Godfrey, we know, has had a lot of victims this year, but Crawford started with 4, although he's not in a great state by the look of that.
Got
the 2 skippers are down. Always nasty, an injury like that at the base of the back.
We know he can't be acting. Crawford from the wing. The Hawks 2 behind. Melbourne yet to score. That was not a great kick. But Campbell comes away with it. The Hawks get a good one-on-one contest. Dixon at the back. In front, Williams off the ground. And another behind. So the Hawks doing most of the attacking so far. That makes 6 times inside 50 compared to 2, and you can see the result there.
Yeah, and obviously Melbourne be a little bit concerned because their starts over the last 7 weeks haven't been great. And just behind play, looks like Crawford might be still down on the ground.
That would be incredible. You just never know what to expect when you come to the footy. In the opening 10 minutes, we've got the captain of one side on the bench and the captain of the other team struggling as well.
So Bruce out wide. Bizzle will take it, just sitting behind wing member's side. Straightens up, bangs it in long. Robertson will jump. Oh, that's a great mark. That was a great mark under a lot of pressure.
Was a great mark. And Smith really should have gone for the spoil. Just so important for a defender to get fist on the ball early in a game.
So it's long. That's a beautiful kick. Oh, it's a poster. Well, you couldn't get any closer. Outside 50. That's the first score of the game for the Demons. They're a point. Hawks are 3.
Just watching this mark on screen, you just saw Joel Smith trying to take the grab from behind. Needed to spoil.
Just have to watch the run of the Hawks out of defence here. They've been good in this area. Hawthorn, Melbourne, they'll have to be on their game. Hay, Smith and Cox have to be watched.
Beautiful delivery, and they're away. Vandenberg's haphazard kick into the middle. Here's Mitchell. Plenty of space to work in. Set a very difficult task. Rawlings might get on the end of it here. Williams kept his footing. Good desperate work from Bizzle. Rawlings still an opportunity. He couldn't make the ball talk then. Lekas kept it in. He did. Kept it alive for Dixon. Swings it back in, but all Demons. Nicholson, and now they can run. Travis Johnston, who got a reprieve, started on the bench but came on when Neitz went off. Through the middle, Uze lost his footing. We've seen players of both teams do that in the early stages. Smith left it behind. Opportunity for Miller. Kept scraping hard. Over the top, Bruce. Here's Robertson again. Crawford looks like he's recovered. Free kick to Uze. No advantage. It's going to come back to Uze. And good to see him in all parts of the ground so far.
It is, and it was good play on Miller. Just a minute ago, he just crashed the ball forward, got his body between his man and the ball, and just created a bit of spillage. And Melbourne just forcing the ball that way. And we just see the free kick just over the shoulder.
Big difference when you consider where he's winning possession of the ball in recent weeks. It has been out of defence, so he's winning it in more of an attacking position. Here he is lining up a goal. Just so crucial that they do get him in and contributing as a goal kicker this afternoon.
A couple of years ago, he kicked 37 goals for the year. Only 9 for now, but now you can make that 10. Demons on the board with a goal.
And a pretty good start here for the Demons. They've struggled to get the ball inside their 50, but Uze's the man they need up and firing, and particularly in their the forward half of the ground. He uses the ball so well, and is a very good kick, and on that occasion just slotted it through for a goal.
So 6 possessions and 1 goal to Adam Uze. Demons are in front, having lost Neitz at the start of the game. Let's put them on the back foot, so some positive signs so far. Jolly will bang it in, that's better, that's long. Armstrong, Cox does well. Adrian, it was at ground level. Loose ball, Miller lost it. Joel Smith will run off half-back. Hawks into attack now. Whelan can't get a hand to it, does well. Took it and then handballed off. Bizzle's in the area. Chased by Lekas. Rawlings. Well done, Bizzle. Demons have done well. Signs are very good early. Part of their game that hasn't been too good as their starts. Out wide.
Got Uze.
Jeff White presents himself. Uze. Oh, good mark in the end. Johnny Hay just holding his ground, not to be outdone by Uze. So Hawks ready to turn it around.
I guess as a backman, when you play on a player like David Neitz and he goes off early, it does give you a bit more freedom. The pressure comes off you a little bit and you can come up and play the footy the way you like it.
So loose ball, Cox, pressure, Lekas lost it. McDonald slaps it forward. White delivers. Little bit of run from McDonald into the pocket. Bump ball. Green will come out. Barlow pushed him, no. Yes, he did. And Brad Green, right side for a left footer, will go from about 30 metres, and normally a good kick, Sauce.
Yeah, he is, and just good play by the Melbourne players. They are forcing the ball forward, getting in nice and quickly, and when the ball comes in quickly, it really does put defenders under pressure, and they've just kept peppering away, and eventually you'll find the opportunities.
Well, these are the bonus goals in football because they're the ones that you're not expected to get. So Brad Green with a chance, normally a good kick. Oh, that is a beauty. They had their second. So Green comes up with a wonderful goal, and what a terrific start from the Demons. They go out to a 10-point lead.
Yeah, 28th goal of the year. Was caused from a free kick, but just that little knock on there, that's all you need to do. Keep the ball alive, keep the ball going forward, and that's all the coach asks of his players. And the Demons, they did it on that occasion. We see on the other side of the ground, there is no player on that other side of the ground. Melbourne generally do that. They bring their two wingers on one side, keep that side free, bring their half forwards across, which really opens that side up on the ground. They get their runners into that area.
Well, Bruce had nowhere to go that time. That was perhaps a result of that tactic. Stone repelling. Thompson presenting.
Well, they're backing themselves out of the ruck, aren't they, with Jeff White against Campbell?
Rawlings just got a yard away then and forced Bizzle into an uncomfortable position. Had to be a free kick in the end. So some interesting matchups down forward with Bizzle and Rawlings, and the other one young is Williams playing on Dixon, Steve.
Yeah, well, I guess they're we probably didn't pick those early on in the game, but often happens, and of course both teams trying different plays out in different positions at the moment. So,
well, that was too easy, wasn't it? Crawford got away.
He's in a bit of trouble.
Belty's back again.
He's in a bit of trouble.
Well, let's go to Christie, who's been watching Shane Crawford from the bench. What have you noticed, Christie?
I've noticed that every time the ball isn't near him, he's holding onto his back. He got a knee into the base of his spine, and he went down and he was in real obvious pain. Got back up and continued playing, but every time the ball is away from him, he stands still and just holds onto his back. He's not running nearly as hard as he normally does either.
Well, he's going to have to contend with this because Melbourne are fully aware he saw there.
10 goals, 5 for the year. Started at left, it swings back nicely. Well done, Shane Crawford, their opening goal. So both captains down. One's been able to stay out, the other one hasn't at this stage. Let's have a look at his kicking action, whether the injury played a part. Seemed to be okay as he kicked it.
Did enough. It's interesting, the congratulations, Pat, I think it was from Dixon too, just straight into Shane Crawford's back. So the free out of the middle, Campbell will take it. Hands off. Cox, left foot, over the back. Oh, well did well to get up and slap it back, Bizzle. Mitchell slaps it on. Thompson into that pocket, too high in the end, Ward, not given in the end. Chance for the Demons to run it out. Early touch for Johnson. On to Godfrey. Uze. Too much space allowed to Uze, and he will deliver. Good kick. Just far too much room for Adam Uze. Well, they're asking for trouble, Sauce.
Well, you are. He was able to steady. It becomes a training drill, and you know at training you virtually hit every target. We just saw there, no pressure on Uze. Such a great kick. Well, he was always going to hit the target in green.
I know it's early to make a comment like this, Steve, but David Neitz off the ground, it just makes it a completely different looking Melbourne forward line, doesn't it?
Well, there's no doubt there would have been a bit of planning around David Neitz. All of a sudden he's gone, so it can also affect the Hawthorn set-up as well, because the focus would have been on David Neitz.
So the players have to work a little bit harder, have a look around green. It'll drop short, need a marking option down there, just slapping it through and making sure. I think it was Campbell down there. So minor score. The absence of Osborne too could be significant for Hawthorn. He's been really good, Steve.
He has. He closes opposition players down. He looks after his man, and he's been one of the reasons why the Hawks have improved. And he certainly has a crack. And I guess it doesn't put that fight down in that back half, or it loses a little anyway.
Well, Crawford gets them out of trouble after they look like they might have been in some. Vandenberg. He's got Cox here on the wing. To handle it cleanly, can do that okay. Goes over Graham for Dixon. Williams, Brown it was over the top with Williams of Hawthorn. And this is Brown again. Now Ward. Great delivery, but Godfrey couldn't get it because Crawford was harassing.
Oh, done.
And the Hawks reap the rewards. Cox to half forward, good kick. Graham did everything but take the mark. Whelan did well. Jolly was slow to release. Eventually, the hurried handball. Tough for Whelan, Liam Shelley to handle. Johnston. Lord, they have a nightmare for Bruce. Loney swoops. We know he's penetrating and gets it long for Rawlings with the run and the mark. And really could have been 50.
Yeah, it could have been, but I think you've got to take that bit of play back to Shane Crawford. He got a spoil on Godfrey, but okay, Crawford's been hit in the back. He may have said to himself, I'm not going to go for this. He had every excuse not to get this spoil on but he made the effort. It was a turnover. Had he not done that, the ball would have gone to Uze, and Melbourne probably would have kicked the goal. But now Rawlings has got the opportunity.
Opportunity to give the Hawks back the lead, and they haven't been able to make the most of their opportunities. A moment ago we saw Kingsley Hunter come on for his first game with the Hawks. That's 99 in all for his career. So things levelling up here. 2-2-14 Melbourne. Hawthorn 1-4-10. The margin 4 points. In a very eventful opening term from the MCG on a fine and sunny Saturday afternoon.
Just so important, as you're saying, Sauce, with Crawford. I suppose that mental block after absorbing the knock. So Hawks do well. Rawlings, no, penalised in the end. So Ward to take it. That earlier kick from Madoom is a lot of their skill errors, in particular by foot, has let them down this year. So that kick earlier that nearly let Hawthorn in.
One thing to watch today with Melbourne is their kick-ins. If you talk to Melbourne supporters, they say their kick-ins has been a terrible problem for them, not just this year, but in previous years as well.
So Ward take a bounce. Drill a pass, bump ball, taken beautifully. Hand it off, again missed their mark. Nicholson on, not a good handball again. Heffernan had to wait. A little bit of time, not too good in the end. Green couldn't mark, the players go in. Loose ball, Cox. Adrian Cox, the run again, has been good early. Jeff White just sits back. Oh, shocking handball. Luke Hodges there, going back in and having to work was Nathan Brown, just making amends, and he's gone.
That's unbelievable.
He sat on the ball and the Hawks made sure he was there. So Luke Hodge.
You don't like that rule, do you, Steve?
I don't like it. The guy's actually committed to the ball, puts his body over it, gets penalised.
Beautiful kick to find Kingsley Hunter on the ground. First game for the Hawks. First kick coming up. And he has a chance from about 30, although he'll have to work for this one.
I don't think the rule was implemented for this reason, Steve. It's more for big packs with players diving on top, isn't it? And that's
now we can get penalised for that.
No excuse for some of the handball errors at the moment. Hunter across goal. Little drop short. Rawlings is down there again. Lekas kicks a goal.
No, he doesn't.
He's kicked the point.
I was going to say, you could almost give it that goal to Melbourne the way they thrust him around to give him the chance to kick the goal.
The Rawlings again in the middle of it. 6 scoring shots to the Hawks.
Very short on the kick in again to Williams.
Not a bad spot to kick the ball, though. It opens up all angles for you.
Yeah, it does. But this time, Chris Heffernan presenting on the wing. Miller's at centre-half forward. Robertson's off and going now. And does well. This is another fascinating battle today. Robertson versus Smith. Green, with purpose, made a strong lead. Trying to get under it, Jolly. Trying to stop him with Stone and Graham. And Hay. Barlow back in the team today. Cox had his best game for probably a year last week in terms of possessions. Hunter couldn't mark. Ward and now Uze. Possession number 8 for Uze. Good spoil from Mark Graham. And the ball out of bounds. And that's a mismatch in height too, that one, isn't it? Graham versus Armstrong.
It is. And if we just go back to the Melbourne forward line, they haven't got too many tools up there. They just need to hold the ball inside their forward 50. Don't allow the Hawthorn defenders to run the ball out. They need to stop play so they can regroup and set up at stoppages.
Just interesting, their last venture into the forward line, their target was Armstrong, and Jolly was a player doing the work at ground level. As you made mention, Adrian Cox well on the way to eclipsing the figures of last week. 10 possessions so far in this game. The Melbourne bench needs to still there. Didn't expect to see him out there, I don't think. Reese will run off half back, or Hodge can play this kid. Good to see him back into half forward. Sitting back there is Jeff White, though. They have to move it quickly, the Demons. Into the middle. Shocking kick again. Skill errors. Certainly a advantage will go to Bizzle. They'll certainly let the Demons down their skills this season.
Leoncelli
All
down.
round. Heffernan will take a bounce. Will run to about 60 and just kick into the air. Johnny Hay will go back to contend this and does beautifully. Did enough to knock it through. And they have to go, Sauce, one of the problems is they're going too deep, making it easier for the Hawks to rush it through. They have to go to about 15 or 10 from the goal square just to make it harder so the ball stays in play.
Tallis marks the kick in. They link up across half-back. Vandenberg goes direct to centre-half forward. Well-placed kick too for young Williams. Looks a likely time. Rawlings has got away from Bizzle. He's zoned off. It's a dangerous habit. He's good at it normally, but he just didn't get back in time.
Yeah, I'm just on that occasion, he was almost committed to the ball, and he just got caught out. Rawlings had dropped off him, and he was caught between his man and the ball, and just couldn't get back quick enough. And once Jade Rawlings has got the sit,
he wanted to play on. His legs didn't, though.
He doesn't drop too many.
Well, surely he couldn't miss this one. The Hawks for their second goal, 6 scoring shots. Only 1 goal, 5 on the board. But Rawlings changes that in emphatic style and gives the Hawks back the lead. So it's been the more difficult scoring end for the year, and they'll probably be pretty happy to go into the first break if they are in front.
Yes, and good play by young Williams. Got the ball in quickly. Already Rawlings creating a bit of a problem for the Demons with 7 possessions, 3 marks.
And to Christy Malthouse for an update on Andrew Leoncelli.
Leoncelli is currently holding a tissue to his eye. It looks like he might have copped a finger or a fingernail in the eye. He's having a lot of trouble seeing, and he had to come straight off. There you see them treating him at the moment.
So quick kick from Uze. Graham sits back to Mark and then moves it on to Loney. Nathan Loney out wide again. Standing start. Good Mark Thompson. So moves on quickly. Short. Hunter couldn't take it. Possibly held on to. Goes back in. Second effort was good. Nicholson, Crawford's there. Wide. McDonald, Demons out of danger. Miller against 3. Should push to the boundary. Did beautifully. There were players of the Hawks lurking. One being Loney. The bottom of the screen. Midfielder Leoncelli just being attended to at the moment. They like to see him back out there, Andrew Leoncelli. Certainly battled through the season, but not alone in that area. McDonald, hands off, missed his mark, then goes back in. Good pressure from Raiden Tallis, and we will get a boundary throw in once again.
Both teams playing a loose man in defence at the moment. Hawthorn have got Graham, who is free in the Melbourne forward. In the Melbourne forward half.
So White down, Lekas left it behind. Heffernan has been busy. Quick kick. Does it stay in? Took the right bounce. Stone did beautifully just to take the sting off. Balanced up and then bangs it back to wing. White will jump and knock it away from Thompson. It stays in. Dixon slaps it on. Couldn't keep it in, Hawks. And once again we get a boundary throw in.
Jade Rawlings leading the player rankings at the moment.
Yeah, and Nicholson has got on the Rawlings.
You compare him to Chris Tarrant of Collingwood, his ability with his running saucies. He covers a hell of a lot of ground.
He does, but he's a very good mark. I mean, if he gets a set, he generally takes the grab.
Good signs for Melbourne with Heffernan and Uze involved again. But look at Shane Crawford. Look at the smother. Daniel Warren. Uze just delayed the kick and adapted it to the conditions. Bruce, he's a very slippery customer. Cameron Bruce, his kick wasn't great. Godfrey to full forward. Body work by Jolly. At the front, Robertson. Green, ready to swoop. Cox trying to pounce. Left it behind. Green could have given away a free. He did.
Had the right idea, Brad Green. Toe poking it away and into a little bit of space to give himself a bit of time, but unfortunately the ball did run away and just didn't bounce the right way for him.
Not everyone agreeing with the decision. 8 free kicks for Melbourne, 7 for the Hawks. Barlow, he's also finding plenty of it at the moment. Out wide, Hay released up the ground, strides away with purpose, gets it to full forward. Jeff White trying to spoil. Bizzle did well with the fist, and now they can work it out across half-back. Heffernan again onto the wing. Hay. Play on. Bruce got it out. Johnston through the middle. It opens up. One last chance. They got 30 seconds to try and kick a goal. Travis Johnson. Some hard leads coming out. Green couldn't get there. Now he does. Over to Bruce. He'll find a path. Bruce's kick, the bouncing. No, it's Miller. On the line. Free kick. So Melbourne will have that opportunity.
Was there a lot in that, Sauce?
Well, I'm not too sure whether the Hawthorn player went for the ball.
I suppose running back with
Nick
a
Stone,
fly.
actually. It was Nick Stone. You've got to make an attempt to go for the ball.
His first goal in league football, wonder-saver for Brad Miller on the siren. He gives Melbourne the lead. Maybe a touch controversial, but he's kicked the goal anyway. And Melbourne in front. 3-3-21 to 2-5-17. Let's get underway for the second quarter because, as we mentioned, a lot happened in the opening term. Jolly crashing into Campbell. Godfrey, who's been able to quell to some degree Shane Crawford's influence, of course the injury helping.
Another one down. Just interesting, just with Sauce, with a lot of the tools the Demons have gone with, just to be aware of the run of the Hawks if the ball does come to the ground.
No doubt. I mean, that's where Hawthorn's strength is. If they get their running players going, well, they certainly set up a number of plays, and that's an area that Melbourne need to make sure they get control of.
Creative stuff from Vandenberg. Crawford. Oh, he's got away, Thompson. Nicholson left Clementi. A few metres behind. He lost his footing. We've seen that in this game all too often so far. Nathan Thompson waiting. Rawlings calling for it in the square. Dixon's down there as well. Williams watching him. Williams of Hawthorn's down there about to make a lead. Brown trying to stop that. Meantime, Nathan Thompson thinking about one thing, and that is kicking the goal. He's got 19 goals, 11 for the year. He's made pretty good contact here. It'll be right to the line. No fingernails on it. Goal to the Hawks, and they're back in front. Just not sure about Dom Jolly's jump there.
Well,
Terrible.
I'll tell you what, it's a great result for the Hawks, but it was a poor result for the Demons. That ball actually bounced before the line, so they failed to get their numbers back. They really should have been able to touch that ball and put it through. You just see Nicholson falling over, which released Thompson to take that mark.
So an early goal from the Hawks gives them the lead. Back in the middle, Jolly and Campbell come together. McDonald dribbles it. Walsh back into the middle. Very short with their possession. Shocking handball, McDonald. Player his back to goal. Jolly across the ground. Could be dangerous. Reese, well done. Loney can go straight at goal. He'll load up from 50. That's where he heads. Could be a mark. It is. Rawlings accommodates the kick. And Hawthorn, in the early part of this second quarter, will get their second goal.
Yeah, this is a few worrying times for Neil Danaher. The fourth mark to Jade Rawlings, and he is a very good mark. Got plenty of height advantage over Clint Bizzle.
Rawlings to become the leading scorer. He does. Goal number 2, and the Hawks have their 4.
And you just have to feel for Clint Bizzle. He generally gets a tough task every week, always gives away plenty of height, and no exception today. That ball was kicked to the perfect spot by Loney, and Rawlings had the height advantage, and we know he's a very good mark.
And he has played from behind, which is not a bad ploy from Rawlings. So instead of allowing Bizzle to get the run and the jump and push the body in. (29-21). Jolly, well, good fist onto it, and he got it back again. Green, White, did well, Jeff White. Adam Uze on his right side, and he kicks a goal. Well played by Melbourne, and the credit goes back to Jolly, although Uze's goal. He's in a bit of trouble as well. The injury count continues to mount. We saw Bruce hurt at the start of this quarter, and now Adam Uze.
It was great work by White, and a great goal by Uze. Not too sure what happened to him, whether he injured an ankle.
Tripped over his teammate.
Too busy watching his handiwork.
Done an ankle. So Adamuze, 2 goals, 12 disposals. Clearly the best player on the ground at the moment. On disposals, that is. Vandenberg out of the middle. Dribbles it into half forward. Dixon to come out. Needs players to come past. Wrapped up beautifully in the end. A handball back into the middle of the ground. Campbell. McDonald the aggressor. Heffernan through the traffic. Well. Beautiful football. And again, wasn't a great execution. Whelan back behind play. Free kick. And it's coming back to Hawthorn. It'll go to Dixon against Heffernan. Chris Heffernan had managed all the hard work and then give it up the Demons. Good kick. Good running for Choney. And a chance for goal number 3 in the early part of this second quarter. And a lot of the better work of the Demons in that first quarter starting to be undone.
It was poor by the Demons there. Pachoni was at least 20 metres free of any Demon defender.
So Lance Pachoni with a chance to extend the lead. It is only 2 at the moment, but the signs are very good for the Hawks. Lance will kick a goal, and Lance will get a goal. So it's out to 8 points, but more importantly, the Hawks in the early part of this second quarter have managed 3 goals.
Well, that was the cause of that free kick, a reaction by Heffernan. We just see there Pachoni all on his own, and to make things worse, Uze has come off the ground, has been replaced by Armstrong.
Hawthorn by 8. Let's get the update on Adamuze from Christie.
Well, they're currently working on his ankle. It's already strapped, so he's probably already had some problems there. They're just spraying the deep heat spray on there now and just working on his ankle. But when you have a look at their bench, it's Uze, Neitz and Leon Shelley all off injured. Yeah,
Uze had problems with his ankle. It really hampered the start of his year. So if he's aggravated that in any sort of serious way, that is a body blow for Melbourne. Yeah, and it doesn't help because he is a player that does move sideways, so he needs that ability to be able to go in and out of traffic. So not a good one.
Hawthorn have got plenty of numbers back.
Had the shoulder injury at the start of the year. Now they've got a 50 out of this one. Cameron Bruce, and there's Luke Hodge.
Yeah,
could be 50 again.
Against Luke Hodge, he actually shepherded off the ball. And that is the result of a 50-metre penalty.
Watch to the right of frame here. Just see it in the corner.
Oh.
Well, you didn't see enough to really make a fair decision, Dakes.
Oh, well, there was nothing in that.
Might be the new tagger rule in action, Dakes.
Might be some good news for Melbourne.
Look out if it is.
Get to Christie in just a moment. We might wait till the result of this kick, though, from James McDonald. From 25 metres out, he's missed it away to the right. And the Hawks fans celebrate as we go to Christie.
Well, as I speak, David Neitz is running past me and looks very eager to come back onto the ground. He's eaten a banana and some lollies in the break, in the first term break, and now he's warming up and certainly looks eager to come back on the ground.
So the Hawks ready to bring it back. Good sign for the Demons. They've got to get him out there, though. I want him loading up on the bananas. Campbell around the corner into half forward. Williams, only player running straight at it. Hodge wrapped up. Tried to carry the ball as well. Williams threw it out nearly. Bizzle around the corner, not directing it. It's in the air. True wing, Stone. Cox left it behind. Toe poked it out of the arms of Bruce. Or hands. And we will get a ball up. David Neitz, possibly not far away. Looks like he could be gearing himself up too high on Mitchell. Should have been a 3, and it is.
It's a great attack on the ball by Mitchell there. He's really hard at it. Got the free kick.
So Loney will deliver. Dixon couldn't mark it. Always going to be hard. Johnson to the running Ward. Demons, good kick. Robertson just dropped it in the end. And Joel Smith has a little bit of time. They'll keep it in. Change direction, possibly. Oh, shocking kick. Had a player out wide off screen on the opposite half-forward flank. McDonald's come in more importantly to mark, and will go back slightest of angles from about 45.
Yeah, it was a poor decision by Joel Smith. The Melbourne player was just zoning off. Probably should have gone for the longer option and was caught out by the poor decision.
They have to be spot on in that area of the ground. Goes without saying, and a chance for the Demons to make the Hawks pay and just bring that margin back, bring it back to within a point. He does. McDonald kicks his first. Well, Joel Smith would be feeling it. Had all the time in the world, had Johnny Hay boundary side to use, decided to take upon himself to carry and try and open the game up. In the end, comes unstuck.
Another day at the office for an AFL coach for Peter Swab. The frustrations there for all to see. The margin is back to 1. Crawford and Cox, usually pretty penetrating. This is an interesting little struggle. At the moment, Williams holding sway across half-back. Bizzle, Demons looking promising. Godfrey darting away. Directed the kick in a low fashion for Robertson, who takes this one. Jolly's back on the line, the top of the square. He goes long, gives Jolly the one-on-one contest. It goes beyond him. All the way for a wonderful Russell Robertson goal. The highs are just so high with Russell Robertson. When he leaps to take a mark or kicks one of those long goals, he certainly thrills the Demon fans.
Well, it's great movement by the Demons. They shared the ball around. They got the ball into Russell Robinson, who kicked that sensational goal. Just shows you how this game's being played. It's its fifth change of leading the game.
He'll get the long ones, the hard ones, and he'll miss the easy ones, Russell Robertson.
Strange old game, isn't it, really? As you said, the change of leads and injuries, it's just hard to draw a line through the form.
Well, both teams making mistakes at the moment, not helping. Demons in front, McDonald wrapped up in the end. Crawford slides in, and we will get another bounce.
Just at the centre square bounce down, Melbourne are opting to drop a man back into the fence, but Choney's becoming the loose man on the wing. And if Hawthorn become aware of that, he is a spare man out on that wing all by himself.
So the Godfrey kick's marked by Miller under a lot of pressure. So we'll move it quickly. Directs it to Jolly. Players back. Joel Smith can run now after taking it and run into a wall of players. Hands off and gave it away. Johnson too high it is. And Joel Smith this time by a hand, giving the Demons one in front of goal.
There was great pressure by the Demons, though. That's what you've got to do as a forward. When you haven't got the ball, you've got to try and harass, tackle and chase. And it does create opportunities. It forced Smith to cough the ball up.
So they've kicked 3 out of midfield in this game. The Demons 2 to Uze and 1 to McDonald. Johnson will line up. He's playing off a wing and he will kick another. So the lead now is 11 points. And after the Hawks kicked 3 early goals in this second quarter, the Demons have done well to turn this one around so far.
And we just saw the harassment there by the Demon players. It forced Joel Smith to cough that ball up, and Travis Johnson was able to get on the end of it.
Great deal on the free kick, was it? Biggest lead in the game, 11 points for Melbourne. Travis Johnston, some heartening signs for the Demons. Their midfielders are kicking goals today. They have to in the absence of their captain. Great to see Uze back out there as well. Free kick though going Hawthorn's way. Belatedly the advantage paid. Taken by Cox. Gets it in there. Rawlings bustling. And he's keeping them in the game at the moment, Jade Rawlings.
Another mark from behind for Jade Rawlings. Ferguson lost that one. Just getting the timing right was always a hard one for players.
He actually got pushed underneath the ball far too easily by Jade Rawlings. We just see Rawlings just push him underneath the ball. He needed a back with some aggression and some purpose.
Third man up required for the Demons.
For his third goal, Jade Rawlings seen off Clint Bizzle, and now he's got his third goal with his second opponent.
Well, it's a big ask for young Ferguson. We just see on screen, that's where he should have held his ground. 2 or 3 metres before Rawlings took that grab. Needed just to hold him out of the contest and bring the ball forward to ground.
Again, no third man up for the Demons, willing to bring that ball to ground. So the thorn in the side of that man, Neil Danaher's Jade Rawlings with 3 goals. Back in the middle. Free scoring at the moment. Uze delivers inside 50. Trying to slap it on was Miller. Joel Smith short. Hawthorn supporters happy with his disposal on this occasion. Pachoni over the top. Chance for Mitchell. Inside 50. Down behind play. No free. Bizzle out wide. 2 of the big guys in the area. Wide. Ferguson just keeping Thompson at bay. Brown now on to running Ferguson. Back to Godfrey. Brown and into the middle Demons. Short. Miller, who hasn't been too bad.
He presents stakes, doesn't he?
Just so important. Shocking kick. And just sneaking on Armstrong will take it too high, possibly. Yes. They just snuck onto the ground. They move it quickly. Bruce. Robertson left it behind. Joel Smith wrapped up. Bruce. Armstrong had his feet, did well to take possession. Johnson fends off Loney too easy. Into the pocket. Hawks through Crawford. Will change direction with this football. Short it is. And it comes up. And Johnny Hay, boy, they've made hard work of it in the last 5 or 6 minutes with their possessions, the Hawks.
Melbourne have made some more renovations to their defence. Nicholson's gone on to Rawlings. We might see that battle in just a moment. Here they go. Rawlings got away. He turned Nicholson inside out, but a long way from home. Off the left boot, Mitchell's kicked the centre half forward. Thompson against Ferguson. Well played, Ferguson. Jeff White. He'll want to be cleaner with his possessions than he has been a couple of times today. He was under pressure there. Did well. Wheeling to Bruce. Mr. Versatile.
Problem now where there's no one really on this side of the ground.
What a man, Armstrong. And Brown's run up onto the wing to provide an option. He can swing it into the middle. It's a little bit dangerous, but it's okay. James McDonald just relishing the space in the middle of the MCG. Heads for home and a positive green lead, but he's mown down beautifully by Barlow and penalised.
He did well, Barlow. He kept at him. He didn't fall off the leading player, and he was able to lay that tackle. Exactly what you have to do as a defender. Never fell off Green at any stage.
Well, you could argue there was no prior opportunity, but I guess it was hard to see him trying to dispose of the ball as well. Tallis runs the gauntlet along the wing, and we'll get a throw-in on the wing. With the score at the MCG, as you can see the goals from Freese 4 to Melbourne, none to Hawthorn. Mitchell having a break. The score at the MCG, 6-5-41 Hawthorn, Melbourne 7-4-46.
So White and Thompson come together. Heffernan third man up. And, down.
It's on. It is on now.
Down, I think it was. Not sure what went on.
I think there, Crawford
and
upended Godfrey, and then Travis Johnson tried to square up.
Vandenberg and Johnson.
May have even been Vandenberg originally, because Travis Johnson just went straight for him.
So half forward, loose ball, Armstrong. Running away from goal. Uze did well, hemmed in. Oh, it's a good mark. Sandwich between two. Brad Miller has marked it.
And David Neitz is back on the ground at the MCG. And what about that for a reception? The captain returns. with the Demons in front, and with young Miller trying to kick his second goal in his AFL career.
So Miller with a chance has been very good. Not on this occasion at goal. Minor score. So he sits on that goal at the moment. But Demons have turned this game around at the moment. The momentum with them, 47 playing 41. Here's that incident again. Godfrey, Vandenberg. It was Crawford on Godfrey. Oh.
Little bushfires started to break out, but credit to the umpires, they got play going straight away, and as quickly as it started, it ended. But I wonder if there'll be any ramifications come the video replay.
You'd expect there to be. That wasn't...
some history there too. Here's Thompson linking up with Barlow. Hawks pumping forward. Rawlings waits behind. Bizzle going at it with Hunter. Well played, Bizzle. He got one high. That's something that's being talked about at the moment in the game, is to play with the head over the ball, confronted from the front, and the umpire paying the penalty there.
Well, it's just so important as a player has his head over the ball and you become the aggressor or the tackler that you just slow down in your last 2 or 3 steps and just create a bit of a blanket over the player.
Daniel Ward to Williams. To half forward. The back of Smith, coming out aggressive play, Graham. With the Demons able to lock it in at the moment. Graham's second chance, Stone. Gee, he was under pressure, but his handball was so creative. Thompson now, Vandenberg. No one back at all for Hawthorn. He is going to run into a brick wall here, Vandenberg. Delayed it well. He worked it really well to Rees. They keep on moving. Pachoni took about brick walls. Kept it going to Cox to full forward. And the haphazard movement costing the Hawks in the end. Melbourne doing well to get numbers back. They lead by 6.
A couple of great efforts there. One was the block by Rawlings on Leoncelli, and this tackle here was a beauty. It was a rugby tackle at the hips. Fantastic play.
Still a chance. Now they're not. The behind conceded. And the margin is back to 5.
Hawks need that, man. 3 possessions to Angelo Lekas. Very quiet at the moment. Maybe an option to go further up into the traffic. Short. Leoncelli called to play on. No one on this side of the ground. He'll just bang it into the air. Back in the middle. Dangerous could be. Hunter swung away. Now a chance at goal. Thompson will wind up. It's long. It is long. And it is a goal. Beautiful kick from Nathan Thompson. The Demons giving it up. And Thompson making them pay.
Well, certainly did. And just the spilt mark here by Godfrey. Really should have done better. Had 2 hands. Really no pressure at all. And the Hawks, as good teams should do, they penalise mistakes.
So yet another leadership change here at the MCG. Hawks back in front. Leoncelli trying to do something about it. Miller again was good. Robertson stalked by a couple of Hawks. Out the back, Graham. Armstrong couldn't stop him getting away. Ledges wrapped up in a Peter Walsh sandwich. And Stone just letting it go over the line and out of bounds.
Always seems to be the norm, Sauce, when you're starved of opportunity and you get your hands on the ball. It's as if you go into shock. But Lekas, good to see him in amongst it. Just so important for the Hawks.
And again, Godfrey going down. So that's going to be something we have to keep an eye on. So I mentioned there is history there between Crawford and Godfrey from a couple of years ago. Crawford got off at the tribunal that time. Great work from one, and the mark is paid, or free kick actually, against Hay to David Meeks. Kicked 5 goals on Jonathan Hay in round 1 when the fast finishing Hawks couldn't get over the line against Melbourne.
And you talk about courage. This bloke was knocked out early. He came out on the lead, was able to take a grab under severe pressure.
Long enough, Sauce?
It's long enough.
It wasn't a mark, it was a free kick.
A free kick.
What for?
Well,
don't know.
There's still a bit of courage there.
No, a lot of courage there. The umpire, though, mate, you can't play free kicks for courage alone, can you, Steve?
Yeah, but he puts himself in that situation. Not many do.
And the kick just couldn't find the range. So scores are level at the MCG. 7-6 Hawthorn, 7-6 Melbourne. Great to see David Neitz back out there.
When you say that, Sauce, why are you looking at Hutto?
I was looking at you, Dave.
Good response.
Well, come up with some evidence.
Have to go back to the
Joel
archives
Smith.
50 years ago or something.
Well, 50 years. So, Hawks. Demons do well to hold them in, but they've worked it out. Tallis, short. Lekas. Made to go back over the mark. The run has stopped for the Hawks. Graham, not able to manufacture, will just load up and just bang it into the air. Big ask of Dixon. Comes out, loose ball, Miller. Tallis, Dixon. Williams, Brown to Green. Into half forward, Walsh, good mark. So on quickly, has he a left foot? This will test him, shocking. Graham will just sit back to mark. And a chance for the Hawks to open it up now. Stone. Again, the Demons have done well in this part of their game, just holding up the Hawks' run.
And that's where you need to stop them or hold them up. They get plenty of drive off the half-back line. And the guy he's just about to kick it to, Joel Smith, is one of the best runners off that half-back line.
Well, here we go. Smith will wind up. Neitz in pursuit. To wing it is. And Crawford dropped it on the way down. Godfrey gave him one in the back just to test him out. Johnson to Walsh, and the Demons are away.
And Peter Walsh, who has been quiet so far, starting to find it now, delivers again. Tough for Miller. And Bruce it was who got the releasing handball. Neitz confronted by Hay. He was quite aware of what was going on there, and it probably wasn't a bad result given the circumstances. And David Neitz showing the signs there of that earlier clash with Russell Robertson. Thompson palming with purpose. Down to Joel Smith. And the Hawks can escape into the middle. Crawford versus Godfrey again. Crawford went to ground. Didn't get a free. Jeff White waiting for the runners. Clint Bizzle arrived at the nick of time and got it forward. Armstrong in front and was strong. Strong in the air. Lekas couldn't spoil. And Armstrong to line up to give the Demons back the lead.
And good running by Clint Bizzle off the half-back line there. Got the drive that they needed to get the ball inside their 50 quickly. And Armstrong, who's pretty good overhead for his size, took a very strong grab.
Full front position, and certainly aware that someone was bearing down, so he did well just to hold his ground, eyes on the ball and take a good mark.
Picked 4 goals for the year, Stephen Armstrong, and he judges that one absolutely perfectly. The Demons are back in front at the MCG, and the red and blue masses are very happy indeed.
Well, again, that kick into the middle of the ground has to be perfect. Sauce. White just sitting back there. He's done most of the work this afternoon across there, if not for the whole year. And the Demons deliver well at Armstrong. So Neil Dano will be pretty pleased with the way things are going at the moment. Certainly the intensity from the Demons. Open game of football, 15 goals in all so far. Uze, Liancelli couldn't get it too high again. And advantage Walsh delivers. Green one hand to it. Joel Smith making some mistakes. Overran it off the ground goal. Peter Walsh followed it up.
It's been a little cameo performance here from Peter Walsh. He did that important tackle, another kick into the forward line, and now the goal.
Well, it was a kick in too.
And Joel Smith's had a quarter that he'd like to forget. I reckon he's a couple of mistakes he's made, 2 or 3 mistakes that have resulted in goals for the Demons.
It's been good, Peter Walsh.
Spent a fair bit of time on the bench. Haven't they had some big names on the bench today for various reasons, mainly for injury? They're all back out there now.
Coming off that wing as well, out of side.
Peter Swab, lots of talk about him being re-signed in the next few weeks. Of course, he's out of contract at the end of the year. Maybe a decision will depend on how the Hawks finish off, and obviously if they lose today, their chances of making the finals will be just about 0. Melbourne, the last 6 inside 50s. You can make that 7. Adamuzzo can wind up and kick a long goal. Testing the ankle out. It's A-OK.
Well, the beauty of winning the hit out of the middle and Uze finishing off with the goal, but that is 3 goals in 2.5 minutes, and poor play by the Hawks, particularly going into the half-time break.
7-goal quarter here for the Demons and 5 to the Hawks, so 12 for the whole quarter.
And one of the reasons they're in front is that a lot of the stoppages, White is getting his hands and just pushing the ball forward. Again, he delivers, moves back in. Hawthorn have to get the third man up and push it to their part of the ground. It's into half-forward. Armstrong. Cox takes it off a step, bangs in. Reese behind it. Brown right with him. Dixon stole it, but Brown for the Demons to White. Godfrey caught and then good hands quickly. Johnson. That is good football. Godfrey around the corner. Miller just gets a hand to it. Back there, Vandenberg to the advantage of Armstrong, who gave it a bruise footy. And we have another. We have goal number 8 in this quarter. That's for the Demons. And boy, at the stoppages, the hard work and their finishing side.
Oh, well, Jeff White was sensational. He got the hit out, but really there was no real clean possession in any of that play. They were just committed at the ball. They were hard. They hit the ball on, and the opportunities came. And Bruce, well, that was a pretty special goal under pressure.
Peter Schwab's made a change after Cameron Bruce kicked the goal. Nathan Thompson thrust back into the ruck. Campbell sits down. The Demons may have blown this game open in 3 minutes with 4 goals. Thompson changes things straight away in the lap of Vandenberg, but Whelan, they've been able to repel from half-back. They'll be happy to see out the last 10 seconds without conceding a goal, and they'll go to the main break. Very happy indeed, as long as they can negotiate here. Ward sees his way through, gets it out towards Uze. Vandenberg trips over. Uze wanted a push, but he'll be well satisfied in what has been a dramatic opening half, with captains being injured and then returning. Some very interesting incidents which we'll look at again at half-time. I'm sure they'll be looked at over the next few days. Top. So I guess the Hawks will have had time to assess things. Dax, what can they do differently, do you think?
Well, they need a little bit more run. They're not running the ball as they have been in probably the last 5 or 6 weeks. Joel Smith and a lot of their skill errors out of defence is the thing that's hurt them. I'm interested to see for Melbourne some very good signs when you consider that 9 goal kickers. Dietz went off. It didn't hurt them. 9 goal kickers and 6 have come from the midfield. Rawlings has been good.
Let's check the Telstra rankings, and Rawlings, as you said, has been good. He's #1 ranked player. In a way, he and Thompson kept them in the game with their goal kicking in that second quarter.
They did, but there's no real surprise there. Rawlings on top. Uze, who had a sensational first half, and Jeff White, who was exceptional in that second quarter.
Let's hear from the Hawks coaching staff. Gavin Krasiska with Christie.
Well, Gavin, they almost seemed to take you by surprise in the last few minutes of that second term, piling on a few goals and taking a handy lead. I mean, where did that come from, do you think?
Oh, look, it was disappointing, I suppose, the centre bounce guys. They got a couple of clear, effective clearances, I suppose, out of there. Scored a few easy goals, so that was very disappointing from our point of view. We brought Tomo back on to try and give us a bit of a lift, but it didn't seem to work.
So what was the message in there then for the second half?
Look, our consistency over the last 6 weeks has been fantastic, and I think we've gone a little bit away from that. We focused on the contested ball wins and getting our defenders to run a fair bit, so hopefully the boys can improve in this quarter and we can sort of peak them back a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Christy.
And no, that wasn't Steve Kernahan, that was Gavin Krasiska.
Let's hope he's rucked up in the second half, Gavin.
Second half is underway as Lekis drives for the leading Barlow. So maybe Barlow's pushed forward, either that or he's just run off half-back. That's, of course, possible, but Barlow, renowned for being a fine forward before he's gone back.
He's actually starting up forward.
And it'd be interesting to see how they do go now, because very good first half of football without him, which made a lot of the midfielders or the delivery into the forward line, made them work a little bit harder to try and pick an option or find an option. now their job is pretty much ready-made with Neats there, so let's hope they don't fall into a hole.
Well, Nicholson left it behind. Pachoni gives Rawling a chance for his fourth, but he could hardly have missed it by more. He had it tried out of bounds on the full, and Bizzle with the footy now for the Demons.
Joel Smith across off-screen naturally. Cross half-back, so he's further pushed into the play, and he will take Robertson.
We just saw Jade Rawling on screen, who had a terrific first half. He just needs some support, and Kingsley Hunter's the man that might just be able to be the decoy for him up forward.
Vandenberg going with Uze. 3 goals in the first half. Cox into the pocket. Will it stay in? Just. Hits the line, so 25 metres from goal. Important for the Hawks to hold this one in. As Luke Hodge back to the goal square. Whelan heading back there to pick up Luke Hodge. Ball comes in. White provides to Bizzle. Straight into the air. Rawlings has a bit of a jump. One hand to it. Cox over the top to Rawlings. Quick hands, good hands. Lekas. Chance for the Hawks now. Williams, third man up in that contest, never getting near the ball. And they're coming back.
Arguable about whether there had been some advantage there that was worth paying.
They're not sure on it, so Whelan out of that back pocket. So Hawks have a little bit of time now to just make sure they're manning up forward to this football. Hands off. Ward will run. All he can do is just kick into the air. Joel Smith should have been a free. Robertson was there too early, was never going to win it. Joel Smith, all he needed to do was just get a hand to it.
He's done well today, Robinson. He's presented all day. He's led up the ground. He's played in front. If you go back to that first contest where Joel Smith didn't spoil, it's almost set the tone for his game.
Robertson into the corridor to Williams, can go by Nathan Brown. It is still at half back. Better signs for the Hawks. At least they've stopped the Demon run, keeping him a little bit more predictable. Wide. Bit of pressure from Thompson, still able to take the mark. Pretty slow at the moment. Just chipping around, trying to find an avenue. Vandenberg, who has a job on Uze, all-important job, and we get a boundary throw-in.
And we get to Christie with some important news.
Shane Crawford has started the second half on the bench and is receiving a lot of work on his lower back. Doesn't look too comfortable at all.
So the Hawks are playing for survival for season 2003 at the moment without their captain. Both teams having to go for spells without their main leader. Johnston and McDonald again collaborating. Johnston's looked dangerous today. Neats couldn't get on the end of that one. He gets a second chance and can't make the most of it.
Well, that's where David Neats is exceptionally strong. The one-on-one duels, able to break tackles, and sometimes an area where Jonathan Hay just struggles a little bit. We saw Shane Crawford on screen before with his back.
There he is again.
Yeah, always, half-time's always a concern when you do get some type of knock, because you do seize up. That's why a lot of players often are reluctant to come off the ground when they do receive a knock.
See, Neats, even that first time inside 50, Demons straight to Neats into that pocket.
That's a concern for them, do you think?
Well, I think so. Again, you know, when you consider what worked from 9 scorers in that first half, when they had to work a bit harder and just mix it around on that outer side, and this is what the Hawks need, a little bit of run. Loney just over wing, not able to take it. Hodge, Whelan, good pressure into the back. That's the way it was seen. So Matthew Whelan spent the majority of the season playing out of that back pocket on the small coming forward, quick forward of the opposition.
First goal of this quarter, pretty important for both teams, particularly Hawthorn.
So Robertson, one hand, dropped it on the way down. Hawks, Lekas. Robertson is down back behind play. It's into half forward. Dixon needs to mark it, dropped it on the way down. He needs to find something. Williams does. Chance for the Demons with a little bit of run. White has been good. Will bang him long. Here comes Neats. Hay right with him. Loose ball. Tallis and the Hawks will run now. Hunter, that's where they were trying to find. Nathan Brown sits behind it. Cameron Bruce does well, not real good, too high. Sloppy tackle from Nathan Loney in the end. Had Walsh spent in the end, gave it up. So Short and Bizzle and the Demons through the middle.
And Bizzle gets a long ball in, needs probably what gets to there. Oh, an enormous leap from guess who? Russell Robertson. A couple of Demons down behind players. Dixon may have been thrust back into defence with Barlow going forward.
They got numbers through the midfield, Hawks. If he squares this up, there's about 8 plays there.
Barlow's floated down though to half forward. He can get away from Nicholson here. Melbourne pushing numbers back. Jeff White back into the goal square. So it's a vacant gap for Jade Rawlings to fill. And he kicks it behind. He's had a busy day, Jade Rawlings, but 3 goals too has been his output. As we see Russell Robertson recovering from this.
Huge leap.
On his teammate too.
Well, he got neat early in the game and nearly did the business on Brad Green.
Going for the double.
The assassin. Demons to bring it in. Bizzle into the air. Hunter should just slap this back. He does. It's inside 50. Mopping up Whelan into the corridor. Chance now. Nathan Brown will run. You're in trouble. Dropped it. Biggest pressure, peripheral pressure, coming from his right-hand side, not able to see it. Williams out wide, and a chance for Rawlings has got it. And this time we'll go back from a set shot. Jade Rawlings has 3 and a chance to bridge that margin.
We saw the free kick count there, and it's pretty high, isn't it, for this stage of the match? 20-14 at this stage.
And it was a great chase, this by Williams.
He did that last week. Remember that bit of play where Leppich was run down, which led to Mitchell kicking it out of bounds deliberately?
So does he give the Hawks a chance? He misses again. Second miss of this quarter. 23-point margin at the moment, although a little bit better in their attack on the football. Certainly better signs for the Hawks in the early part of this third.
Yeah, they do look better. That was flirting with danger as well with the short kick for Bizzle. Play on now. Brown does it instantaneously to Ward. Walsh can come from behind here. Godfrey in front, but Walsh, and look at the way he bounced back to his feet. Plenty of spring in the Demons' step. Robertson didn't try and take the mark, just smashed it to the back. Armstrong over the top, the pressure on Tallis. High tackle from Green. He gives it to the umpire. Graham, the man with the free kick, going short again a bit sloppy. Adrian Cox bombs away to the wing. Walsh tries to get there. He's given away a free.
And that was a good posse to put the ball. Peter Walsh had done all the hard work in that lead-up play. Was pretty spent force as that ball came back.
Rawlings into the middle. Mitchell, what a give! Vandenberg for Hunter.
Kick.
They just must kick a goal here. We know it's not easy at that end, but after all the points they've kicked, a couple in this quarter and 8 for the game. There's the initial free for a bit of hanging on.
Must go back and kick this goal. So important. Virtually the Hawks season on the line here.
Trying to kick his first goal in the Hawthorn colours, and Kingsley Hunter obliges. Well, he started as a forward with the Fremantle Dockers, and he's been at both ends for the Bulldogs, and now at Hawthorn kicks his first goal.
Yeah, he has, and hasn't had a great game. Hasn't had too many possessions, but needs to get himself involved in the game and give the support to Jade Rawlings.
Takes a bit of pressure off Jade Rawlings, does Kingsley Hunter. He comes up with his first. If they can play a part, certainly open the game up. Luke Hodge, the other player. Good pressure. Dixon came into the middle to win it. It's inside 50. No, just outside. Barlow will mark. Chance for the Hawks again. Short, and that's a good kick. Mitchell did some pretty hard running. Will mark and go back. You'll have to work, though. It's a pretty sharp angle. He'll go back from about 45.
He was instrumental in that last goal kick, the build-up to it, and a play that has stood up for the Hawks over the last 4 to 5 weeks. and needs to now that Shane Crawford's still off the ground.
Well, normally a pretty good user of the football. His greatest asset is his in-close handwork, and that's a shocker. And I was just about to say he's a shocking kick, though, Hutto. So that's why you just have to delay it a bit.
He's only kicked 3 goals for the Hawks this year.
Well, that's why he's such a good handballer. That's all he does. Doesn't get the practice in. So Nicholson will take it out of that back pocket.
Not everyone can be as good as you, Dakes.
I wish you meant that.
Well, 4 kicks, 8 handballs, Dakes.
Spot on, Dakes.
So Nicholson long over the back. Lekas back in, so that's another better sign. Hodge couldn't control it. In the end, the Demons to the boundary. It's 35 from the Hawthorn goal. They're into attack, and they're starting to bridge that margin.
Crawford's still on the bench. They've kicked 1 goal, 2-1, but gee, they've looked much better, Steve.
Well, they have. This is where they just need to put the Demon defenders under a bit of pressure. They need to work their way into the game, hold the ball inside their 50.
Walsh, Armstrong, Uze. Armstrong goes again. Nothing to go to except Miller, who's got to beat 2 here. He's in front of Stone. Gee, looks good, young Miller.
He has been.
Did well.
Presentation is the word. Green's got a tough ask here, and Graham, how many times in his career has Mark Graham done that? Just eased off the back of the opponent and taken the mark. Tallis. Now they can run. Lekas, the boys touched on, he's starting to find the footy after a quiet opening half. Cox is the highest possession winner on the ground with 17. Back to Lekas again, and they're inside 50. Ground level ball. Oh, crunching bodies left, right, and centre. Thompson found a path and was able to get the ball off. Pressure on Barlow. No mark there. And now Uze. And now Walsh. Looks up. One-on-one contests everywhere. Robertson in front of Smith at the back. Needs. Did everything but take the mark. They'll get another chance. Robertson got away from Hay. Armstrong could have gone short. The Needs goes for Bruce instead. That's a strong defensive effort.
Important
he copped a bit too.
Important mark from Stone on that occasion.
50 metres against Cameron Bruce, and you can see why, quite frankly. Well, that much in it on the replay. Just holding him up there, the umpire was saying that was what the 50 was for. And it wasn't the biggest 50 metres I've ever seen. Stone sets it up for Rawlings again, who is their avenue into attack at the moment. Oh, that could have been a free kick. It was. Sloppy stuff by the Demons defence. Another free kick paid against David Neitz. And it was Jonathan Hay who's trying to run Neitz around.
Yeah, just a couple of things are starting to fall the Hawks' way. They're getting themselves in first. Things are starting to happen.
Big bomb to the square. Goal! Dixon! Well, are they back to Hawks? They've done all the attacking in this quarter.
Well, they have, and this is just about putting pressure on the defenders. Keep the ball going inside your 50, working hard, and things happen. And just the last couple of minutes, Hawthorn have worked extremely hard, and now they're getting the results.
Well, Angelo Lekas, big third quarter, 7 possessions in total so far, coming off a wing member's side. It's back to 11 points, and certainly working hard inside 50 now, the Hawks, just with their ability to give themselves a second bite at going at goal. Melbourne not able to break clear. Another move is Vandenberg onto Uze, which certainly has slowed the run of the Demons. Jeff White off for a break, and the run starting to come out of defence. Lekas, that's for the Hawks. Off half forward, too hard. Cameron Bruce handball to Reese. They will go again. It's out in front of Cox. This is where he likes it. He'll run. He'll take a bounce. Heffernan in pursuit. Back on that right boot. Chance for the Hawks. It'll drop short. Nicholson's there. Does beautifully. Slaps it outside 50. Then at the way. Bizzle. Left foot. Brad Miller. Still under pressure.
Oh, well done.
In the end, Stone should have tackled. Demons with a chance. Nathan Brown will mark. Hands off. Heffernan into the middle to Johnson. That's where he heads. Johnson at goal. Has to go at goal from 50. It's long. It's into the air. And it's to the right for a miss. So a chance for the Demons to break the cycle. That man, Johnson, James McDonald off the ground, and the Hawks are back.
Been impressive, Miller.
Opens up for them straight away. They're thrusting forward through Mitchell. Guides it for Barlow. Williams late, but okay. Graham got away. Nicholson's going to have to work here on Rawlings. The recovery in the end was fantastic from Nicholson. Shared it with Jolly. Now with Ward. Now with Walsh. Demons have got an open space through the middle. Travis Johnston wanders along. Oh, look, who's on Brad Green? Time to sink the slipper. Oh, into the post.
Had to kick the goal.
It was a great build-up.
Hawthorn let off the hook.
They had loose players, Melbourne. Travis Johnson had acres in front of him. No one had picked up Green.
Well, you'd expect the runner to go out now to the player directly opposing Johnson. He will play on the opposite side of the ground, and the Demons will use him when he's on his own.
Well, just at the moment, the Hawthorn players are running. They are running the ball, so they must use the ball correctly, because if they miss their targets now, a couple of Melbourne players are sitting back.
And it's important that you do use the players like Raiden Tallis has a job on Johnson, so he could become a usable option. And if they're not willing to chase, well, you make them pay. It's over wing. Rawlings dropped it on the way down. Taken handball by Williams, and it's in the back, and it could be Heffernan to pick himself up.
38 free kicks for the day.
Oh, is that too many?
Oh, no, it's just a vast change on what we were seeing about a month ago.
So in the Miller, in the back. Oh, we have 39. Advantage paid. Johnson, short. Neitz has to mark, and this is where they're falling down now. Neitz lost it. Joel Smith around the corner. It's outside 50. Dixon jumped. Hodge was there. Johnson, and he will get a free. A lot of them have been there, even though we have had a lot of free kicks.
I'm not against it.
I think the free kicks have been there. So they're paying what should be paid.
So Johnston to load up and deliver inside 50. Cameron Bruce playing out of the goal square. Bombs at long. Be interesting to see how the Demons go about this. All tall marking options. Robertson will jump. Thompson's there. Loose ball will come down. Leckus to mop up and plays the percentages through for a minor score. At the moment, that's all they can manage, the Demons.
Sorry, Dakes. 4 behinds for the quarter for Melbourne. 11-10. Hawthorn 9-8. Again, Joel Smith. They've been able to find this short option down the middle consistently from the kick-ins. Nathan Thompson. It's what happens after that.
How many times the ball sauce has been delivered? On 5 occasions, possibly very close to 5 occasions to Neitz. The ball has come to ground, and Hawthorn looking pretty dangerous in their run out of 50, the Demon 50.
Let's get to Christy Malthouse.
Well, it's not good news for the Hawks. It doesn't look like Shane Crawford will be back on the ground at any time soon. He's on the bench. There you see him with the tracksuit top on and the blanket over his legs in obvious discomfort. He went for a warm-up lap and just looked very ginger.
He looked really cold there, didn't he? Oh, what a mark from Thompson. He's been able to provide some aerial thrills for us consistently over the years. Russell Robertson, what's he doing? Trying to claim the mark. Let's have another look. Well, I guess he was in front.
Great mark.
It was his mark.
Hasn't had a great day, but he's a player that Hawthorn need to stand up.
Here they go, Adrian Cox. Oh, he was heading for home. Great run down and chase, and I think it was Ward.
Yep. A little bit more protection, I think, is what he's probably asking for.
Yeah, he's worked really hard today, Adrian Cox. I think that was his 20th disposal.
20 possessions for the day. There's another look at that one. Well, Robertson was in front, but it looked like Thompson was the man that was holding on to it for most of the time. It's your decision. 76 Melbourne, 62 Hawthorn. 2 goals, 2 to 4 behinds in this third quarter. Pachoni warming up. Looks like he's ready to come back on. Vandenberg trying to get through. He did. Put it in the lap of Luke Hodge. Now we've really got a contest. Back to 8, and no wonder Neil Danaher is animated in the box.
They've just been grinding away this quarter, Hawthorn. It hasn't been pretty footy, but we just see Vandenberg there explode onto the ball, was able to release the ball to Hodge. Only 3 goals kicked this quarter, all by Hawthorn.
And Hodge off straight away after kicking that goal, and Pachoni back on.
Well, it is starting to tighten up now for the Demons. Luke Hodge, after being able to kick a goal, is off the ground. It's back to 8. Thompson up. Liam Chully. Uze, quick kick out of the middle is all you can do. Playing for it, Robertson, he'll get it. Advantage paid, and the Demons miss again. Cameron Bruce, the culprit.
Thompson's hurt in the middle of the ground after that ruck contest. Looks like he may have hurt a shin.
Simon Cox off screen, back on the ground. Kingsley Hunter off, so the change is being swung by Peter Schwab as Nathan Thompson.
It's amazing, isn't it? When they kicked to the City end, which has been the tough end, in the second quarter, they kicked 8 goals, 3 Melbourne, they couldn't miss. And in this quarter, they've kicked 5 behinds. This is Vandenberg, and now Nathan Loney goes searching out wide for Nick Stone. Miller worked back well. Again, providing the contest. And now he gets the spoils, and that was not a great handball. Russell Robertson boxing on, so was Cox. No free kick. Armstrong gets it in long. Oh, Graham, did he infringe?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Play on was the call. Walsh, this way, that away. Jolly, and a standing start. Funny old kick. Heffernan lurking.
I think you're right, Hutto. I think he did infringe. There was no way known he was going to get hand to the ball. Mark Graham.
Certainly went across the pack. Here's the Thompson incident. Going down in pain. We'll get to Christie in just a moment. But they're deep in attack at the moment. Have them out to find a goal. The entire quarter. Peter Walsh might get a chance now. He's been paid, so let's go to Christie.
Well, it looks like it might be more bad news for the Hawks. Nathan Thompson can hardly run at the moment. He looked like he got a kick to the shin earlier, and he was just involved in a contest then and could hardly run. So just keep an eye on him.
There he is. And here's Peter Walsh, who we mentioned spent a fair bit of time on the bench early in this game, but made a big difference to them late in the second quarter. He's had 10 possessions for the game and 1 goal. Peter Walsh is trying hard to work it back. Goals are as elusive as fairways are for the golfers at the moment in the British Open. They're pretty hard to come by.
So important now the Hawks don't allow Melbourne to kick a late goal in this third quarter.
So Walsh does enough. And Lekas will get a free. Kicks on quickly as Graham, who snuck around the back, into half-forward to Tallis. 60 from goal. Good kick. Good kick. Rawlings will accommodate it. So Jade Rawlings, 2 earlier misses in this third with a chance for his 4th.
Needs to go back and just settle and make sure he slots this through. It's a huge kick for the Hawks.
And not a bad position to be kicking from when you consider that sun starting to set in the west, so would have been straight in his eyes. So Rawlings side onto it will kick across goal. And just to consider down the other end for the leading forwards of the Demons, running straight into that sun, so they will run under the ball and the ball will sail over the back, so they have to be pretty much on the ball, the Demon forwards.
Just hasn't worked it out at that end, has he, Jade Rawlings, today? The accuracy. He's all 4 behinds have come at that end of the ground. Nathan Brown galloping out of defence for Armstrong with the kick. Tallis, cool bounce for both. Favours the Hawks though. Cox ready to pounce, gets it back along the line. Dixon couldn't find his target. Oh, bad peripheral vision from Williams. Walsh back to Brown, to Jet White, the link in the chain. Uze's got away in the middle if they could just find him. It was too tough. Walsh saw Uze, but thought the task was too difficult. Went for safety. And Miller takes another mark.
Positive sign, his game today.
They need to hold Melbourne out here, Hawthorn. A late goal would really hurt.
6 marks for Mility. Ward's been good as well. Can someone stand up and take a mark? Green was surfing the pack. Lekas got the releasing handball. He's going to get another free, is he? Yes, he is.
No, he's calling play on.
Well, they thought the free had been paid.
The players had stopped.
Yeah, they all thought the free had
It's a strange one, isn't it? What would have made them stop here? I think the players conceded, the Demon players conceded and felt Lecker should have got a free.
Play's gone on meantime. Uze! He hangs the head as well. That's 7 behinds for the quarter.
8 goals in that second and then 7 behinds in the third. And again, a lot of the kicking has been out wide. Joel Smith. A little bit of risk taking for the Hawks pays off.
Does it?
Pachoni, good contest. Walsh there. Vandenberg keeps it in front and then overruns it. Green surrounded by 3. Simon Cox on the ground, wrapped up in the end. And we've seen that penalised a few times today.
But did he drag it under? I think that's the question you have to ask.
Well, the ball came out to Mark Graham. Hawthorn supporter asks the question. Cox over the top, but...
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
dead lucky.
Could have been in the back in the end. Ball's back on wing. And Nathan Brown hasn't been too bad. Hands off to Johnson. Short, shocking.
A couple of poor decisions from both teams. Just pressure has really, I guess, come to the fore here.
So Nick Reese calling the plays of the members' side, just chips over the top for Choney. Can hand back to Reese. In the middle he has Tallis off screen. Tallis being picked up by Ward now. And between half back, no, he goes in. Adrian Cox or Marcus. The siren goes. Good third quarter for the Hawks. They've given themselves every opportunity to keep their season alive. Neil Danaher would be mighty disappointed with these Demons in this third. Tall there. Campbell, who's now off the ground. Thompson doing the duties there. Reese is a running player. Luke Hodge was very good. Interesting to see starting this quarter on the bench. Very good with a goal in that third quarter. One of the instigators, Hunter, kicked a goal. And Sauce, some of the fresh legs for the Demons.
Well, Ferguson hasn't played much footy at all. Of course, a key position player. Leon Chili hurt his eye and really hasn't played too much footy and needs to spend most of that time on the ground. But they've still got 2 running players there in Walsh and McDonald.
Well, interesting to see they're going back. Although Neat's heading to the goal square. Very wide with a lot of their possessions in that third quarter and really not made to work for their options as they did in that first half, the Demons, I thought. Pretty predictable in the way they went in. Hawthorn getting defenders at the drop of the ball.
So Hawthorn's season on the line at the MCG. Can they do it without their captain? Or will the Demons record a much-needed victory? Last quarter underway in style for the Demons. White, Uze, Johnston, Bruce at the back Neats. And now the Hawks through Tallis. Can reassemble. This is Adrian Cox.
Been excellent.
#1 possession winner on the ground.
Both Cox and Tallis have been very good after half-time, or Cox all day.
Wasn't a great kick, but Reese made it look good. Kept on running and got it back. And Loney doing what he does so well, flying past. Promising kick. Nicholson an important fist. Brown. And he's got White pushing as he does so well to the opposite wing. Thompson's pursuing him, but the Demons have got a loose man. And really the ball couldn't be in much better hands than Cameron Bruce. 2 fingers for a goal. Body blow to the Hawks, delivered by Cameron Bruce.
That was, but we take that ball back. It was a great effort by Alistair Nicholson, who actually fell back into that hole, going back with the flight of the ball. He's actually hurt his arm, but that just recreated the rebound. Melbourne were able to run the ball up. Jeff White's kick was spot on, and Bruce did the rest.
Well, Cameron Bruce took the easy road on that occasion. It came off. It was Nathan Loney, the man he was supposed to be minding. Hawthorn could well have been kicking at goal. It comes off for the Demons, so they extend the lead. Mitchell at ground level. We'll have a ball up.
Well, let's get to Christie for an update on those injuries.
Well, it's highly unlikely that Shane Crawford will be back out in the ground for the rest of this game. He's on the bench now. He could hardly walk to the bench, actually, in that third-term break after being in the huddle, so he's in a lot of pain.
Thanks, Christie. Thompson down. It's forward at least. Loose ball. Walsh goes through, wrapped up, and Demons will get a kick out of this. Advantage paid. Walsh out wide to Johnson. Dummies a handball. Give himself time. Not a good handball to Williams. Uze's gone. Given away to Dixon. Can go at goal. It's unguarded. Oh. He tried to draw a player. He had the right idea, to be fair to him. And it might have been Kingsley Hunter running forward of where Dixon was, so just didn't come off.
It's been a game of turnovers, hasn't it? Crucial turnovers.
But a lot of mistakes. Both these teams last week made poor decisions and a lot of skill errors. And they've really brought, I guess, those mistakes back into the game today, and they've hurt their sides respectively.
So Ward into half forward. Oh, good mark, Robertson. It'll be paid in the end.
Better to punch Joel Smith.
Probably more so for effort. Will just chip in. Armstrong should have gone at it. Players, Neitz will slap it back. He will set it up and they will kick a goal, Demons. Nathan Brown. So 2 early goals to start this last quarter. A little bit of breathing space, still a lot of football to play, but Hawthorn's season on the line.
Yes, and we just see this grab here by Robertson. Once again, Joel Smith from behind failed to punch, and it's really hurt his game, but also his team.
One thing Neil Danaher has been able to turn around in this season is their last quarters. They were so poor through the first 10 weeks or so in the season. They've been finishing in quick fashion in the last month or so, and they look like they're doing it again today. Armstrong, Travis Johnston, hasn't he been important? On the bounce, Bruce has been presenting all day. Robertson's been up, he's been down. He's giving it off to Bruce. Free kick, advantage. Bruce again winds into another goal. Oh, he's in red goal kicking form at the moment. Six goals last week, 3 today for Cameron Bruce.
Yes, and started once again from Jeff White out of the middle. They've won the ball ups and contested possessions out of the middle, particularly after half-time, Melbourne. And Cameron Bruce, well, he's having a purple patch.
And they're on the mat again, aren't they, the Hawks now?
Yeah, still capable, but certainly have their work cut out now. The lead is 28 points. Good sign for the Demons, his numbers at the ball. So it's inside 50. Hunter did well to Williams, to Dixon. Chance for the Hawks, he finishes. He finishes, and they're not finished with yet, Hawthorn. So they're able to get it out of the middle, and good answering goal from Benny Dixon.
Yeah, they needed that one. They needed the quick reply, and Dixon finished off with it, but winning the ball out of the middle, that has been the story. They need to continue to win that ball out of the middle, get the ball up to their forward half quickly. Next goal, very important.
.22 points the margin, 14-13 to 11-9. MCG, shadow starting to take over after a sunny day. Hawks boxing on. Stone from the Leckers handball. Rawlings out of position that time, thanks to good body work by Nicholson. Brown for the boundary. Here's the test for the umpire. Was it deliberate? No, thrown in his head. Oh, the Hawthorn fans letting the umpire have all their wrath after, of course, last week. Sam Mitchell was pinged in Brisbane.
Don't they wish the Melbourne supporters?
There's Mitchell still working hard. Barlow. Let the traffic go past. Blasting away. Hunter trying to get to it. But Bizzle was in front.
Just needed to create the spillage there, Kingsley Hunter.
Oh! Gee, that was almost a Melbourne collision. Luke Hodge.
Well done.
Hodge.
Play on.
Well done.
Play on. And Hodge does and kicks another one. And they are back in it. From nowhere, Hawthorn have kicked 2 goals. And the margin is back to 16. Just for a moment, it looked like we're going to see a sickening clash.
There was, but great play by this fella here, Luke Hodge. Just stayed alive, just stayed in the contest, never thought he was out of play, and finishes off with a goal. Sign of a good player.
So 2 answering goals from the Hawks brings it back to 16 this season. Is still alive. Still plenty of football. Players go up. All important out of the middle. In the back, no. Allowed to go on. Uze, since hurting his ankle, has dropped away. McDonald and Demons will go forward. At goal, inside 50. It's into the air. It's to the left. Oh, Jolly slipped through his hands. And then just slipping through for a minor score is Graham. And another injury. Jolly technique not too good. Hawthorn are bringing it in quickly, and they will move it through Graham.
And now Tallis, he's got a short option in Barlow.
Good run at Barlow.
He was a midfielder, wasn't he, really, initially, before he went forward and now back and now forward over the top. This is Richard Vandenberg. He's a running, goal-kicking midfielder. He lines up at Hodge. Couldn't take the mark.
Great effort by Bizzle to run back at the flight of the ball.
And even Hodge signalled that ball should have been kicked to the top of the square. It makes it harder for defenders to go back at goal. It's the huge risk factor, I suppose, associated with that.
So 14-14 Melbourne, 12-10 Hawthorn. We've only gone 8 minutes in this last quarter. Already 5 goals scored.
So Whelan short. Defensive 50, McDonald. Out wide, it'll bounce. A big ask here of White. He's against 2. Lucky bounce for Thompson. Good football at Kingsley Hunter. Short good. It was good for Lekas. And they will go back for another shot at goal. Angelo Lekas, big second half of football, certainly third quarter, and a chance to bridge that margin.
Just good to see that Hawthorn are answering the challenge here, or they're really committed. They know their season's on the line. They've upped the tempo. And Angelo Lekas has a chance to keep their final hopes alive.
Well, Schwabby, you'd be asking himself, is he up to the pressure of kicking the much-needed goal? Angelo Lekas hasn't troubled the goal-scoring list so far in this game. As I said, big third quarter. Could start his last quarter off beautifully. It is good. That is a big goal. A pressure goal. And they bring that margin back again. And the game is up for grabs.
Well, they're answering the challenge. They've kicked the last 3 goals in 4 minutes. Some pretty good footy by the Hawks. And they're finishing with goals. Very important.
Ten minutes in, we're back to where we started at three-quarter time. Lekas thrust into the midfield. We shouldn't be surprised he kicked the goal. He's their leading goal kicker for the year with 24. Ball going nowhere out of the middle. James McDonald and young Nick Rees, who was a late replacement today for Michael Osborne, who was ill.
Just so important that both teams, especially the Melbourne players, go man on man. At the moment, the tempo flowing with the Hawks, and I was just watching Vandenberg, who was sitting behind Nathan Thompson at the centre bounce, was on his own.
And Thompson calming down with purpose. That time Lekas, another possession to half forward. Williams somehow attracted the footy, but he couldn't do enough with it. He was there to tackle and give a second effort. McDonald, and now Brown, there's a whistle, advantage paid. And they're away to half forward, presenting Robertson, but it's ground level where the ball spills. No free kick paid. Everyone was watching.
But thought he did blow the whistle.
No, that's the second time that's happened. A ball up, the result of all of it. There's Angelo Lekas. He's had 16 possessions for the game.
Well, that'll keep Travis Johnston pretty honest, because Lekas will move forward.
Nick Stone. Pressure on every possession here at the moment. Stone kicks to a 1-on-2. Melbourne with the extra number, and it's Daniel Ward. Now he can bring it into White. White can go to the middle to Nicholson, but he has to be quick. And he was too quick, maybe too hasty. Gave it up, but he gets a second chance. Jeff White. Oh, it was all caving in on him for a moment, but he kept his cool and thought his way through it. Back to Ward. The Hawks have got back in numbers here, though. Very few spaces, so Ward just bombs it long. Cameron Bruce got heaps to beat. Hodge over the top. It was an important fist. Russell Robertson takes it to the line, but keeps it in. Forced to go wide. James McDonald, Armstrong, under pressure all the time, the Demons. Close to the line again, Robertson have to work hard. And Joel Smith sees it over. 10 points the difference at the MCG. Last quarter, Neil Danaher under pressure, and there's another Hawthorn player in trouble.
Could be Barlow.
Cox, is it?
Cox, yeah, Adrian Cox.
So ball comes down to
Brett
the Demons. Adrian Cox in big trouble there. Luke Hodger was a little bit earlier, third man up.
That's how Cox suffered the injury.
Done a shoulder.
So the free to go to Simon Godfrey. Kicking can let him down at times. Certainly the pressure will be on this kick. Just so important to the Demons.
Just kicked 2 goals, 3 for the year, Dax.
The lead is 10. Against the run of play, Simon Cox with the responsibility, and he misses and just scrapes it in for a minor score. The margin 11 as Adrian Cox comes off the ground, leading possession gatherer in this game. And what you won't see on that stat sheet is the ground that he has covered. Joel Smith short to Tallis, on short again, so just sharing it around. Loney to Lekas for the Hawks. Chance now, plenty of room to go. Loney has to go over the top to Reese. Has been good. Late change in this game. Thompson will jump, standing start, or take a mark.
Good grab in front. Nice and strong for a big man.
Into the middle, no. Just inside 50, you had Sam Mitchell. So has to wind up and go long. Rawlings may be the target. Thompson may back himself. It's long. Rawlings is the target, and Rawlings has got it. He was sitting down there behind Nicholson for a while. He should kick it. And the Demons, there is no excuse that they can put up for that.
Well, he has been their headache all day, Jay Rawlings. Has taken 10 marks and has worked particularly hard both up the ground and towards the goal square.
So Jade Rawlings with a chance to keep the Hawks season alive. Early in the last quarter, blown out. To their credit, they've come back, and Rawlings to kick goal number 4. Yes, sir. No, he's missed it.
Might get another kick here.
He will. Yep, that's 50. Well,
No,
it's
they're
not 50.
arguing, they're arguing over whether it's a goal or not.
Well, the guy with the glasses is the best guy to determine whether it got in.
Well,
Boy,
it's a goal.
It is a goal. So that's 4 to Rawlings. Travis Johnson asks the question, and the Hawks peg closer.
I think the biggest giveaway here is the reaction of Jade Rawlings after his kick, that I'm pretty sure he thinks he's actually missed his shot.
No, he got it. He got it.
Well, I'd like to see his reaction. The initial photo.
I think the ball ended up behind the goalpost.
Well, let's watch his reaction. What do you reckon?
I think because he thought how close it was.
I reckon I'm with you, Steve.
Well, you see the ball go behind the goals.
I know, but Jay Rawlings, he always gives a good facial expression. That's one thing you can say about it. Out of the middle.
Reese,
they're going forward again, the Hawks. Looking dangerous, lovely give. Mitchell to put them in front. Can you believe it? They're ahead. Unbelievable scenes at the MCG. Hawthorn were 28 points down 10 minutes ago, and now they're in front by 1. And Sam Mitchell has been a major reason why.
He has. really stepped in the footsteps of Shane Crawford. He's lifted this team. He's been in and under and very aggressive.
Oh, the pressure's starting to come off Swabby. And one guy that has certainly contributed to the Hawks in this last quarter, Nick Reese, starting to get a bit of the ball. A little bit more respect has to be shown. Dixon through the traffic. Stone. Out wide, Bizzle. If it bounces unkindly, chance for Hunter. He'll take it. Short, that's a good kick, and here's the man, Nick Reese, hands off. Vandenberg into the middle. It is all Hawthorn at the moment, Dixon. So the Hawks lead by a point. Short drills, good kick, Hodge. And Luke Hodge with a chance. Slightest of angles. And he has a chance to extend that margin.
Tell you what, this fella here stepped up. He's given him a bit of spark up forward, a bit of spunk, a bit of presence. And just the way he approached that lead with a bit of commitment, it really does lift the team. The goal is also very important here. Hope he finishes.
Even last week was played and tried by Peter Schwab out of the goal square. Took a courageous mark after injuring his arm at one stage and looking like spending time on the bench. They need this one, and Hodge will kick a goal. Three goals to Luke Hodge, not known for his goal-kicking prowess, and the Hawks are out to a 7-point lead.
Well, this kid could become a pretty special player, I think. He's kicked 2 goals to really lift the Hawks, and only a youngster in this time, he's been able to step up, and that was a big goal.
The future of Hawthorn are doing it here and now. They lead by 7. Young Campbell in the ruck. Jolly with the tap. They're getting it out of the middle again. They're killing him in the middle at the moment. They're inside 50. Rawlings is stalking. Nicholson's around. Demons are under threat. Huze, Leckis bearing down, had to go wide. Hawks fans will love this. Let's get to Christy Malthouse.
Well, Nathan Thompson is off the ground. He's up and walking around now, but they were working on his calf there for a while. He looked like he was struggling out in the ground earlier, and he's off now. Looks like he might be able to come back on. Adrian Cox is on the bench and doesn't look like he'll be able to come back on.
Vandenberg with the clearance. Up to 50. Dixon.
He's lifted.
Nothing going wrong for the Hawks at the moment.
Reese got the clearance. He's been on fire this quarter.
Options everywhere for Dixon. Which one will he take? Hodge goes down, gets back to his feet. He goes short. And it's young Robert Campbell who steps up to take the mark.
Get it in deep. Get it in deep.
Have to be a mighty kick from here if he's contemplating having a shot.
So Campbell.
A lot of space to the area, it is outside.
Yeah, he goes wide, hoping for Rollins again.
Too smart for Nicholson.
How good's this bloke been? 11th mark for today, and really he's been the headache. He's been the headache.
Just positioning spot on. Conceded front position, and in the end, for a backman, the easiest thing for a forward to do, and you're the expert here, Sos, is actually to lead straight at the ball, because all you need to do is get the body in, get an arm up. Pretty hard when you can't feel a player that's sitting in behind you, and Rawlings good enough to get to the front to take a good mark.
It's been a strange old game. Lead has changed so many times through the day, but at the moment the margin is 7. A goal here will just about drive a stake through the heart of the Demons. And Jade Rawlings has done it with his 5th goal. Hawthorn have kicked 7 in this last quarter. The margin is now 13. 7-1 to 3-2 after the Demons started so well. And while it was Rawlings that kicked the goal, it has been their young players that have inspired them.
It had to be a good kick by Campbell. It was a pressure kick, but Rawlings has had a great day today.
Well, the Hawks, they've been good enough to come back. Are the Demons. Jolly out of the middle. McDonald to run onto it, a little bit of time. Has he a left foot? Has to deliver, just bangs it in long. Neitzel jump, pushed in the end. No, says the umpire. Not really directing it. Pretty hard through the traffic. Heffernan into the air. 3 against 1. Numbers with the Hawks. Loose ball, Armstrong. Round the corner and towards the goal. It's out of bounds.
What does Neil Daniher have to do, Steve, or what do the Melbourne players have to do?
Well, I mean, firstly, they had to start winning the ball out of the middle of the ground. On that occasion, they did win it. Their backline has been under severe pressure in the last 10, 15 minutes.
So Campbell down beautifully. Reese. And again, the Demons not able to man up.
And again,
Keep the ball in. Loose ball to run onto a Pachoni. Fresh legs. Over the top and a chance to run. Not on Kingsley Hunter. Will take it and confront it in the end. Threw it up. Pachoni. It's inside 50. Well smothered in the end. So reprieve for the Demons. Boundary throw in. And the Hawks into attack.
Interesting manoeuvre, that one, wasn't it?
Well, could have been penalised. A lot of players have certainly lifted for the Hawks. All important.
There's still time for Melbourne.
There is.
They don't look like it, do they, at the moment?
So Campbell down. Swinging away. Mitchell not this time. Johnson making sure.
The whistle, it's coming back.
Well, it's either holding the ball or... Well, Adam Uze saying, well, he was pushing clear. He was tackled for certainly 5 or 6 seconds there. Rawlings 5 goals. A match winner so far. Ball's bounced. Jolly. It'll come down Mitchell this time. Reese into the air. They need a mark. Bizzle. Williams, no, Bizzle. And the Demons through Williams.
Well, they need to hold on to the ball here, but suddenly he was going nowhere fast until Uze emerged to provide an option. Lots of space ahead. David Neitz hasn't really looked like it since he's come back on it again. Hay worried him out of it. Barlow, crisp kick. Mitchell, who's been magnificent. Oh, he got himself into trouble, but got himself out. Hasn't Reeves been good as well? Bizzle's marking prowess. That time didn't come to the fore. Had to go in for a second effort. Pachoni wraps it up. Ball up. 5 minutes to go. 13 points the margin.
They smell a kill here, Hawthorn.
They've kicked 7 goals after Melbourne kicked the first 3. And after trailing by 28, they now lead by 13. Melbourne have got to get a move on. And their big names trying to do something about it. Leoncelli to the wing. Robertson takes the mark when he needed to. What's he got ahead? Not much immediately.
They've got to run, Melbourne. They need to run.
Neitz is one-on-one with Hay. Hay's been winning hands down after Neitz copped the body blow earlier in the day. Bruce, who was so good early, laid it off to Armstrong. He measured the kick, but Hay
Looking for Neitz again.
saved the day. Too one-dimensional going forward, Melbourne.
So Johnny Hay, dropped short. Green. It's died off a little bit. The supply certainly has quietened down in this last quarter, last 10 minutes. And kicking straight to Barlow was Bizzle. And just to hold it up. No need to rush this Hawks now. The game in the keeping. Short. Johnny Hay.
Melbourne have got a man up here, don't they?
And they don't need a man on the mark. They've got to try and prompt Johnny Hay to run off, bring the ball back into play. So they sit off the mark. And Johnny Hay will just, won't be dragged in. He'll just wind up and follow the boundary. White will jump. One hand, couldn't mark it. Mitchell again over the line. Gives the Hawks a chance to regroup, reposition, and contest his boundary throw-in.
A couple of the Hawks youngsters, young Reese and also Mitchell, have stood up for them.
Well, 26.5 minutes gone. Hawthorn holding sway at the moment. Heffernan gives McDonald a chance. His body's on the line again. Oh, that was great work by Barlow. And Mitchell again involved. Free kick for in the back. Advantage. The umpire thinks about it, then says yes. Leckers takes that advantage. Then drives it long for Rawlings again. Nicholson didn't give away the free. Rawlings just pulled up a fraction short of step, but he did well to lock it in.
And that's the difference in Hawthorn since half-time. Sauce that locking in the ball, give themselves another opportunity, and Roos, after delivering, goes in to contest this ball up. This is a huge victory for Peter Schwab. I mean, the momentum has been building, but very good last week, but nothing better than coming back from 5 goals down.
And the Demons all at sea at the moment. Interesting to note that 18 Hawthorn players have had 10 possessions or more. And the other 4, Stones had 9, Hunter's 8, Campbell 6 and Williams 5. So they've really had 22 contributors today.
Shouldn't be scared to just bang this in. They've certainly controlled the air after half-time, the Hawks.
Vandenberg finally gets one loose. And it's Luke Hodge again.
Good player, this kid.
Another
Will
youngster.
a super player.
Mitchell, Reese, Hogg.
What
All
a
very
great
good
win
players.
what a great win this is for Peter Schwab, with his future still in doubt, and the team 28 points down early in this last quarter. Their campaign to make the finals seemingly in ruins. They've been able to dig deep, and with their captain off the ground, it's been the young that have led the way. Luke Hodge.
Oh,
It's a behind. Maybe the build-up was too much for him.
it's a fair kick, and certainly a luxury that everyone loves when you don't need to get it too close to goal. Hodge from just outside 50, distance not a problem. And 14-point lead at the moment, and they're marching to a pretty good victory, big victory. Armstrong gave it to Uze to Liam Chally. Last effort, last try for the Demons. Into the path of green. Nathan Brown will just bang it into the air. It's back towards the goal square. Robertson's there. Joel Smith and Johnny Hay making sure that that's all the Demons get. Pretty much the story for most of the season. There's always been one quarter that has let Neil Danaher and his boys down. Well, really, second half has been pretty poor considering the first 10 minutes of this last quarter.
I think for the Hawks, they've had some stability at both ends. I think Johnny Hay today's played a pretty good game. Even though David Neitz got that heavy knock early, he stood tall. At the other end of the ground, Jade Rawlings was the other leader up there, and, well, his game today has been outstanding.
Reese just put up a bit short on the hamstring, but he seems to be okay. Only can take it. Lekas runs for him on the outer side. He's just got himself into a little bit of trouble, but Reese is there to provide some support. Delicate little kick around the corner was designed for Lekas, but Armstrong, anything but delicate as he attacked the footy. Travis Johnston gives Green a chance, and he's going to have to go back and basically ram it through for a goal. The Demons don't have any hope, which seems pretty forlorn at the moment. Here's Brad Green. 1 goal, 1 for the afternoon. And he's kicked a belated one for the Demons. Too long between drinks, I'm afraid. Margin back to 7. Who knows? Maybe there's time. Don't look at me that way, Stephen.
I think they could do more with this young guy. I think he's got a lot of skills, and I think should be played more up the ground than sort of just a leading option out of the goal square. Well, do they have enough time? The Demons, Hawks still leading. You'd think it's enough. McDonald pushed off the ball by Campbell, who was good. Armstrong running away from the Demon goal, wrapped up by Mitchell. As the siren goes, what an impressive victory as the momentum continues for the Hawks.
Oh, wonder saver for the Hawthorn side, no doubt about that. But it was the way they did it. They were 28 points down early in the last quarter. Oh, they're a happy team tonight. There'd be none happier than their coach, Peter Schwab, whose team really found something when they seemed to be down at 8. Lekas was great. Thompson and Crawford were in, and they're on the bench when their youngsters were leading the way. Shane Crawford will have a lot to contemplate after the game. Travis Johnson, perhaps one of Melbourne's best players with 21 possessions. But they'll be terribly disappointing tonight. Tells the story of the year for them. Sam Mitchell, one of the young guns that led the way for the Hawks in the absence of the captain. Here he is with Christie.
Well, are you still standing? You are still standing, but what a big performance from yourself and from the team.
Yeah, it was great to come back. You know, we looked like we were gone probably at one stage. Just kept the belief and, you know, eventually got there in the end.
What was said at three-quarter time? Because to turn it around like that in the last quarter was huge.
Yeah, obviously we just thought at half-time, just get a couple of goals back and set ourselves for the last quarter. And the last quarter just come out and give it everything. And eventually, we got over it.
You ended up with the ball at the very end there, which was quite appropriate after your game today. You kicked a goal in the last term to top it off. Your game has really stepped up a notch in the last few weeks. Do you feel that too?
I guess, they've given me a bit more freedom and, I've been able to run. Obviously having the quality guys around the ball that we've got now, and everyone's going really well, and we just got to take it into next week now.
Well done.
Thank you. Well, he had 3 clearances and 4 tackles alone in that last quarter, and his day's work, as we saw, 20 possessions, and he kicked that important goal, something he hasn't done a lot of. So just it's all up for Sam Mitchell and for the Hawks, Steve.
Oh, no doubt. And I think the most impressive thing about it was their youngsters, really. When the question was asked, they stood up. We saw Sam Mitchell there. Campbell in the ruck, I thought was pretty good. Young Reeves was outstanding in the last quarter. Hodge, well, we just know the player he's going to be in years to come. But they had the stability of a couple of senior players who I thought played terrific games in Rawlings with 5 goals, and also Jonathan Hay down the other end, who really did create the stability down back.